And welcome back to Career Build Series, episode 144. So, nice eerie picture. Um, we have Triton has just hit the autopilot stop point right outside of Spycakes. So as you can see, we're sitting here outside of Spycakes. Let's go ahead and jump on board here, and we're ready to motor in the rest of the way, and we'll unload these containers. So let's go ahead and do that manually. Alright, so let's go ahead and desync the thrust here. And I need to come to port. I wonder if my sensitivity might be down on my up-down arrows, because it seems like it's slower than my... the WS seems like it's slower than my other side. Alright, so we are a little bit... So if you look right here, the dock is there. It's hard to see in the fog. I even screwed up a little bit here, so we're going to just gently come up here on the port side. Yeah, I need to check the sensitivity on my WS. I think it's quite a bit slower than my up-down arrows for my starboard screw. Trying to formulate the thought and explain it. Alright, so we can see over here, here are the container pickups, and then we need to go there. So I'm just trying to find my way in the fog, trying to be careful. I don't want to hit any of the ground up here and ground us. So you see kind of the cutout there, and we want to put it next to the diesel container there. So I thought of some more things we needed. You know, I let this go on autopilot and auto shut off, and I was AFK for a while, so just doing other stuff. So it sat here, burned fuel while I was AFK, which isn't the end of the world, but the issue being that we were burning fuel idling, and so I want to be able to make sure that we don't burn a bunch of fuel while we're just sitting there idle. Alright, so I'm going to kind of put my nose in first here, and then I'm going to start to desync the engines, and I'm start slowing down, and then I want to pretty much come to a stop. I want to bring in the stern. And then I want to just gently motor ahead. Just kind of tucking the stern in here first, and now as I tuck the stern in, I want to push the bow out. So I'm going to go in reverse just a little bit. And bow's coming the opposite direction. Stern, I'm going to pretty much zero out my stern thruster. Start to reverse my thrust a little bit. And so I'm just watching the stern again here, just kind of trying to pay attention to it, get it going. Yeah, definitely my WS is super slow. I need to look at what's up with that and adjust those. Push that bow back in. Alright, I think we're pretty good where we're at here. I need to fix it too so it doesn't do that restart nonsense when it doesn't need to. Alright, you can hear the ding-dong of katydid. That's because I probably didn't shut the systems off, or that's not connected to the systems, which that speaker should also be connected to systems, so if that's going off, I need to fix that. So, bunch of things to fix, which is kind of the name of the game. And I really wish these docks weren't so tall, but they are what they are. So, And I threw a rope somewhere here. I doubt that it's still there. We'll just stick that one on there. Let's unload these containers here. Do a quick little save. Always good to have backups. I'll leave Katie there. I'm gonna grab these containers off. Alright, I was just making sure that we were zeroed out on thrust there. And I think right over there is about where the delivery zone is for these. So a bunch to do. I need to check the electricity on the crane. That was an issue. Oh, I hit the rotors of Katie. Need to check the electricity on the crane. I had to go input electricity because of that. Alright, what is up with up down here? It's kind of being sticky for some reason. Wasn't having any issues with this crane. Let me see. Infinite electricity's on, so if it is an electrical issue, there it is. I don't know why that was being sticky, but it was. I've literally had no issue with that before, so. And you have to listen to that bing bong. I think that's just needs to be connected to the master power button. That is too sensitive, the left-right, so a lot of stuff to tweak. You know, it's the tweaking phase of all your builds is really always what takes the longest. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's hook that up. Yeah, let's decouple that one. And I'm not going to bother with the next one. It takes a little extra time going up and down and doing them, but you get exactly what you want this way. If you, you know, if you don't do it this way, you get undesired effects, and so I want this to do exactly what I'm asking of it, and not anymore. Yeah, see, that is way too fast. It's just stopping a jerky motion is always good. I'm going to put that way out there. Alright, so that's about at the max reach there. I think one of these. That's the one. Yeah, see, a bunch of this, it doesn't behave this way when it's in the test world for some reason. It's having more issues when it's in the live world, it seems. But it's good to get a good container mission going with Triton. Alright, so that's set. Let's press that so I can attach when I get down. Alright, beautiful. Alright, let's get back up there and let's drop this other one on up on the dock. I'm just going to turn this one sideways. I'm just making it easier for the container shifter to grab these. Easier it is for me to grab. I don't have to move them very far. They just have to go over there by those three little hangers. Stow the crane and we'll be good to go. Yeah, a lot of hanging right now. Like the, you know, this has gone through a ton of testing and didn't have any issues, and now it's a little bit of hanging. It's not a big deal, but it's doing stuff like that. This is something. It's got to be something new they did. None of this stuff was jerky, and then they did an update and it did this. Somebody was talking about that beginner actually responded to about you needed more power to move tracks, and so I wonder if there's something they did. He said they'd be hot fixing it, and so like I had these strange effects going on with kind of bouncy effects going on with ropes and all sorts of stuff. I'm curious if this all has something to do with it. That wouldn't surprise me, because a lot of the stuff that was working fine is now kind of herky-jerky, which is kind of annoying me. Alright, next the did. Let's move the did. Alright. Yeah, see, when master power is off, that buzzer should go off. That's something I need to fix. Gyro's on. Yeah, like I'm getting a little game slowdown too. Yeah, see, like getting a bunch of slowdowns. So I don't know what's up. It's gonna kind of manually fly us to Dreimor, and then put the did away at Dreimor. Kind of following the road here in the fog. In real life, you do, you know, if you can take off, you could, you know, if you're going to land in the fog, you have to have a certain amount of visibility on precision approaches in real life for actually taking off. Try not to have a crash here. I think I still have a heading hold in there. Yep, heading hold's in there. That's why I was fighting it the whole way over to fly it. Let's get in here in the hangar. Alright, let's put down the did. 16 gallons remain. Plenty of fuel. Oh, hit the wrong button. Meant to hit that. Nope, meant to shut that off. Alright. Oh, infinite electricity's on. That's why I was able to open the door with that off. Oh, I wonder if... Let me turn off infinite electricity. Okay, the buzzer's off without infinite electricity on. That was just because I... electricity's fine. It was just me... That was just me because I had infinite electricity on because of some issues with builds. I had that on. Let's use another toy here. I was going to use my container mover. I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's bring it anyways. The way I set up the containers might not be great. This is my portable container mover, and the whole point of this is Sawyer South, you can't spawn any of my container moving equipment. So with this, I can lift all this on top of Triton and actually bring this with me. So the engine will be loud on this, and the reason is because this is just a terminal vehicle for moving moving heavy loads, short distances. It doesn't need a lot of gears, you know, because it's not designed for speed, so it doesn't do a bad speed. It's doing 20 miles an hour, but you know, it's loud and everything because it, you know, it's not meant to go on the road, so it doesn't need a ton of gears. It's just kind of designed to drag things around the terminal. So have to listen to it for a second until I get there. But it's kind of cool how this works. We have two container movers, and they connect to either side of a container, and then they lift it up, and you tow it with this little truck. It's kind of neat. They have some equipment like this where you can actually tow in a van, and it's for moving containers short distances, and you would pull out the different wheels, and you essentially jack up the four corners of the container, and then that can be towed by a van or a truck or something. Headlights, work light on. And do we have hazards here? Hazards. So get all lights on this little guy. I like to bring out some of the other builds. This has been on the workshop for a while. It's part of the Pat series. So yes, it's loud. It sounds like a lawnmower, but you know, it's designed to go short distances. You just use this at the terminal, so it doesn't. You don't really need it to be. All right. So the way I set this up, like I thought, was going to be tough because of you know, I didn't put these. Like the white one is even going to be tough to connect. See what I can do. All right. So with this, what you do is, do I have a backup camera right here? Let's go ahead and go in reverse, and then see if I can reverse back to get to it. So we reverse the rear. So we want to reverse our trailer up here. And I'm just trying to see in the monitor where I'm going here. The shorter a trailer is, the more sensitive it is. And the quicker it moves on you, so you have to correct more quickly. The longer a trailer it is, it's actually often easier to reverse. If I could look out my window too, that'd be easier. That's what I'm used to doing, is lean out the window a little bit. It's kind of tough probably for you to see what's on my monitor here, but there we go. Nice thing with a tiny little trailer like this is it's kind of easy for me to push it around. So as you see, we're very close. I did a reasonable job. So what we would do is we would, I'm actually going to try to drag it forward a little bit. So we push this, get that lined up pretty well. Then what you want to do, a lot of us have to remember. So you want to go release interlink, release container, pistons. Pistons, as you see the pistons go down. Then I need to set up the bottoms to connect. As you see, it snaps together. I'm actually going to drag it a little, see if I can't drag it. See if I can't go a little bit forward. Raise container. Alright, that lifts it up. Let's see if I can't drag it. I just want to drag it a few feet ahead. Just give myself some space. Little bit of space is all I need. I just want to show you guys how this works. So I just need to drag it forward. You can see how even this little truck's pulling the container. That's why it's so loud, is it's down geared pretty heavily. Alright, so that's been delivered anyways, but I'll show you how to connect it anyway. So what you do then is you want to go release interlink. That releases the two, and then what we do is we get back in the truck and we drive it around. And you want to come around the other side here. And we want to connect this one to the side. Alright, and then I'm going to look at my reverse camera here. And I'm kind of reverse up. And so I can kind of use that center little spot there. If I hook it up to the center rib, Usually gets me close enough to snap it. So I'll kind of show you in third person so you're seeing what I'm doing here. Just kind of backing in. And it's tough with this because, you know, again, the shorter the trailer, the more quickly it wants to move on you. So I'll show you in third person how this connects here. So what you do is you come around like this. Let's go in reverse. Alright, and let's start backing up slowly. Alright, and so you'd back this one up. And again, it's definitely, you want to take your time, you know, especially in game reversing trailers is, you know, in real life the same thing is if you try to rush, you end up screwing up and you have to do more pull-ups and it just takes you longer. So actually that should be fine like that because in game, unlike in life, I can push the trailer around. But taking your time, it's going to be a lot quicker. And I just don't want to waste time me backing up 5 times. So what I want to do is, again, I want to lower the pistons here. And we'll connect this other side. Try to get it close enough to connect. There we go. Okay, so that's connected, as you can see now. So what we do is we would then press pistons. As you can see, it lifts it up. So it's lifted up on both sides. These actually communicate to one another via radio. That's how I get lights. So as you can see, I have lights in the back one. All right. So this has already been delivered. Oh, but let me kind of show you. So this is, and the brakes actually communicate via radio. So I do have brakes on the rear unit. But I have to tap the brakes or else it will jackknife, as you can see. You have to be very careful because you will jackknife. If I do tap the brakes, it will stop the trailer first. Alright, so let's go ahead and disconnect this one. Alright, so first thing we want to do is we want to disconnect the front one. So we want to go to pistons. We want to lower it. And then we want to do release container. Now we're released. And we can go around to the other side here now. And I'll just show you in third person again, so you're not having me watch a monitor. And then what you want to do is you want to come over here. So this is definitely more tedious, but again, this is pretty much made for one base. That's Sawyer South. And the reason for it is I can carry this with me and leave it at Sawyer South. See, and Sawyer South doesn't have any place to spawn in a container shifter. So there's definitely a more laborious way to do it, especially with me trying to back up in third person, which I'm not accustomed to. I usually do first person backing. But what I can do is this, and then I want to go release interlink and let the interlink connect. As you can see, it releases. We'll put down the pistons, and then we'll release container, and we're all set to go now. And pistons on this one can go up. There we go. Alright. And then pistons on this one can come up. There we go. Alright, and so this one's good to go. But pretty simple. That's what this thing's all about is, you see how that can easily move container. I'm just going to grab the last one with the container shifter. It's going to be quicker than me trying to grab it on that, because the way I put it with the container is not conducive to this little car. But a cool little car. This can actually be loaded into the hold of Triton via the crane, and that allows me to store this in there and bring it to where I'm going so that I can use it to move containers. All right, let's grab this up out of the workbench. All right. Alright, let's bring this up and in. Definitely the faster way to move things. Some sort of helicopter just went over. There it is. Alright, so I think that was a $6,000 and $8,000 container that I just brought in. So not a huge amount of money, but you know, I would say we more than, you know, put it into perspective. This burns quite a bit more than the oil tanker, but we also went a very short distance. I burned about 22,000 liters going from the Arctic all the way down to the refinery island. And then that was it. Was sitting on the harbor generator with the engines idled for, you know, 8 hours while I slept. You know, in addition to that, so it was quite, you know, it ran for a long time. I only burned 22,000 liters, so, you know, this more than enough makes up for it. You know, so these containers, while not uber profitable, it makes it profitable, and you know, we got 2,000 for the mission with Katie did. So I'm just waiting for this to tell me. There it is, 9,000. So we actually made pretty good money on this. I'm actually just going to drop this here. I think, yeah, see, I can return this to Workbench from very far away in Spycakes, so that's very helpful. It makes it really quick and easy to do. But yeah, so that was a quick little mission there, just to get the just to get unloaded and get going. So that wasn't bad. Definitely seems like something's up with something they did. You know, one of the devs actually commented that something's up, and that they'll put out a hotfix. I don't know if that has anything to do with the issues I'm having, but you know, a lot of this stuff was butter smooth. The crane was butter smooth. Now it's hitching a little bit. Not sure what's going up with that. It could be a little desync or something, or a little lag or something. I don't know what's the right word for it. But yeah, the crane was butter smooth, and now it's kind of misbehaving. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. But let's recall. Let's recall this. We're gonna lose the Remora, but that's fine. And I think what I'll do is I'll do some off-screen editing, maybe. Just gonna be some boring crap, and then I will kind of come back and we can do some missions. All right, see you then. All right, so we're back in my test world here. We're gonna finish up the episode just with some little bit of build work here. Kind of maybe make it a little bit on the shorter side. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna bring up paint, and Mr. G came up with a good name for that little rescue boat, for it to be the Remora, because it hangs off of the of Triton. So I thought I'd do that. So I'm going to use the same font that I have on Vrijo, which is Magneto. Kind of do probably the same color scheme of green, and then let's see, add caps lock on. All right, Remora, and then I'm just going to kind of try to get this set up here. All right, and so I know Paint.net might not be the best paint program, but it's just it's simple, and it's what I'm used to, so I tend to use this. All right, let's see, file. And then I tend to make a folder for all of my different builds. It just makes things so much easier. So much easier to put stuff away. Alright, and so if you're unfamiliar with it, you have Tajin's Stormworks toolbox. So let's go ahead and bring him back up the game really quick. And I'll load that in. I think right here, yep. So I did just a tiny bit of work here. I just moved the staircase over so I can put the name badge. I also want to try to get a light in here. So it's, what is it, 2x4. So now I can bring the Tajin's utility back in. Alright, and so let's find that file. I hate Windows 11, how it tries to save everything on my drive. I need to fix that. That's super duper annoying. And then we'll do 4 blocks. Yeah, we'll see how it works. Sometimes it doesn't work well. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I have to do a bunch of editing. So, if you guys want or need a tutorial on how to do this, let me know. I don't find it all that useful to do kind of a tutorial in the middle of a video. I don't think it really helps or works very well. So, if you would like a proper tutorial on how to do something, let me know, and I can easily add it. All right, so let's go back in game here. And let's save this as Remora backup. Okay. And we'll load Remora nameplate. Nope, that didn't work. That's fine there. Width-wise, it's good. It just didn't do 2. I wanted 4 across, though. That's the issue. Let me go back to utility, see what I can do. Just images. Let me see if I can paint it by hand. I want to also put a light in, so if I can paint it by hand, sometimes I can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bring back up paint.net here. Kind of see the way it looks, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of put that off screen, and I'm going to try to kind of emulate it. We'll see how poorly I do, and then I can try again at some point. Usually I like to make use it as almost like a stencil. So ideally I would like to make it that big. So I didn't write down a bunch of the stuff I need to fix. I kind of want to do that as well. What do I need? Indicator light. Just trying to remember some of the stuff that I've been wanting to put this on for a while, and that's just going to be one of the nav lights. It's the white stern light. All right, and then I'm going to do color swap here. We'll see how this doing it by hand works. Trying to think how well this is going to work. We'll see. I may or may not be able to paint for craps. Okay. Now the R is supposed to be very proud and large, so it's kind of what I want to do here. Okay, that's not coming along too badly there. Okay, and then I want to kind of go like that, like a dot. And then this should kind of be so I'm just kind of using it a little bit as a template. If I need some more help later, I can fix it. But looking a little funky, but looking pretty funky at the moment. See how much I screw up the other letters. Oh yeah, that's terrible. We'll do this. I'll finish this later. I'm definitely gonna need the tool to help me. I'm not terribly artistic, so. But that's gonna be Remora. Let's see. What else did I need to do in this? Still was having some throttle issues. Let me finish up just a couple here of paint, and then gonna finish up some of the broken crap, and then I'll do some of that off screen. Just gonna be me screwing around with that. I'll quickly show you. This is the other boat I've been working on. It's a single engine rib outboard. Same, gonna load in the same slot. I like this one somewhat better than the Remora for certain things. It's gonna be an option to go on there. So I just figured to show you that. Let's go ahead and load up Triton. Let's load up Triton. I don't know if this is the latest lifeboat. I meant to save this after I put that. Nope. I need to put in the new lifeboat again. I meant to save that. I forgot. So, all right. Things that need electricity here. So, the crane was not electrified properly, apparently. So let's see. We have the crane base plate going to the pistons, going all the way up here. What is this stuff here? Okay, that's not connected. That goes up to the... That's the cab and the door. What's this? I don't know what this is. What are you? Monitor 1x2. Why is there a monitor in there? Did I mean for there to be a monitor in there? That looks a little weird if that's a monitor. Oh, okay, yeah, that's supposed to be a monitor. That's fine. Okay. That needs to be connected to here. The spotlight for the crane needs to be connected. A lot of this isn't done yet, so that's why I'm kind of asking myself questions here. Alright, so all this crap here is all the locking mechanism and the final pivot there. So all this needs to come across. Can connect here. I don't think these need electricity to connect. Alright, so that's all set. And I think I have a crane power system in here. Again, you know, you start to see what my electricity looks like in here. It's quite complex. I like it this way. I like to know where everything is. It actually makes it somewhat a little bit easier for me because I can, having them isolated, I can kind of find them and make them work. If I put the crane in the essentials, I have to ask myself the question, why? Let me go through them really quick. Main, port, starboard, bow thruster, stern thruster, starboard cooling, port cooling, rudders, trim tabs, nav lights, ballast system, bridge. You see, these are all the essentials. Engineering, starboard main gen, port main gen, electric breaker. So that's the end of the essentials. So it shouldn't be on the essentials. What the hell am I doing? Crane should be in the non-essentials. Helipad, crane, right here. So crane is not connected to anything. So that would be why my crane wasn't working right. Alright, so that goes to here. Alright, so crane is now working. Good. And then rear davit needs to be connected. I didn't have that connected up. Right here I have it connected to helipad. That's incorrect. So this should be there. What are you now? That needs to be connected now. That was a new part I added. What is this? Those do not need to be connected to anything. That goes here. This goes to rear davit. So these are all my non-essential systems. So these are things that in an emergency I could shut off, and that's part of load shedding. Usually new systems and new aircraft, and I would assume boats, and even it does it in tractors for tractor trailers. They do it where it load sheds, where unnecessary systems are essentially shut off because you don't need or want them to use electricity, because that would burn, use up electricity in an emergency that you don't want to be using. So, all right, so let's save that. Yeah, let's save that, and that will kind of get us going. Trying to keep them in their category, so that's systems work. All right, so that's systems work done. Katie was fine. I thought there was a problem with Katie with that buzzer, but there isn't. All right, so I think that's set, pretty set. You know, people are probably, you know, I took a little break, so people are probably yelling, you said to do this and this and this and this, and I probably forgot. But try to see if there's anything glaring that I need to do. Let me swap out this boat again. I did it already, but then I did not save it as the new lifeboat. So every time I swap something out, I kind of have to do it. So I'm curious if with one of the updates they messed something up, added a bug, because things have been very bouncy lately, and that's screwing up my winches. I'm hoping that they, you know, beginner came on, and I was actually talking on the Steam, answering, you know, kind of going in some of the threads, and I'm glad he did that. He called some of the people out on their stuff too. There was somebody who had a cracked copy of the game and was, I don't think, being as honest as they could have been with why they were booted from the official, and so he actually showed their thing that they had been were asking for help with the cracked copy of the game on the official Discord, which is kind of silly to me. Somebody, I like to, you know, give people credit who've told me these things. You know, if it was you, please put in the comments. Somebody said, you know, you can just load in builds, and I didn't even know that after 3,000 hours, or I might have known it and forgot it. But like stuff like this is much easier than me having to select everything in the build. So thank you to who said that, and when I find out who you were, I will credit you with that help, because I certainly believe in crediting people for their work, whether it be showing me something that I didn't know or not. I think it's the right thing to do. So let's go ahead and put this on. I think we'll end it up there. It's you know, getting a little bit on time, and you know, we haven't had a shorter one in a little while, so there we go. So that's a new lifeboat on. This new lifeboat, I can launch it really quick here for you and show you. It's a little bit faster. I fixed the stability system. I'll show you the new system that I added. We're in the test world anyways. Oh, I didn't do something I needed to do for that to work. I hate having to recall this right back into the bench. It's just so resource intensive that it's kind of slow to get it back in. All right, so there's, need to attach the rope or else it's not going to work. All right, let's spawn it now. We'll just take a quick little jaunt out in the new lifeboat, and I gotta show you what's going on here with that. All right, so infinite electricity, just because I don't want to have to go start the ship up to launch this. Yeah, see, like we have too much rope stretch, and it has nothing to do with that. It's I attached the wrong node, and it put a hose on instead of a rope. Yeah, because all these ropes, I essentially accounted for the stretch. So if you notice now, I have an electric hatch. So the electric hatch opens, all right. I increased the size of the motor. I put in, you can barely see it, I put in a bilge system to pump out the interior of this. The whole point of this, come on man, the whole point of this lifeboat is it's intended to be an all-weather craft. Why can I not get on top of this? It's intended to be an all-weather craft. And so, oh, Jesus. It's intended to be an all-weather craft, and so it really wasn't. And the issue was that any sort of water gets in there, this thing sinks to the bottom because it doesn't have any sealed volume. And so you kind of need a sealed volume when you're doing, you know, to not sink. And so I need to be able to have this operate in any weather condition. And if it gets any water in there, I need it not to sink. And so the stability system I need to set it so that it operates backwards when we're going backwards. That's why it was rolling the wrong direction. All right, so this now goes, I think, like 23 knots. So it's not super duper fast, but it is faster than Triton. Again, this is going to operate in heavy seas, so Triton's going to be slowed down for recovery. But let's kind of go 100% wind on this. Show you what's the dealio here. So this is in 100% wind. This is what's going to go out in 100% wind now. It putts along nicely. I like it. It has kind of this shorty window thing. Kind of reminds me like a rat rod. And so the whole, what I did here was, so the new feature is if I open up this hatch and it gets any water in there, I'm going to try to get some water in here. I think a drive-in is going to be the best. Watch the hatch when I get water in here. So I'm going to do my best to get some water in there. And so if we get any water inside, it's going to automatically close that hatch and start the pump to pump the water out. So that will make it so that if I forget the hatch, if I'm trying to load a person in and water, there we go. See the water got in? Door shut. All right, so now it's pumping out all the water. So you see the pump is actually going. You see the little bubbles coming out. So it pumped that little bit of water out. So now let me try to open that again. Come on. Come on. All right, there's water again. You notice it shuts. If we look here, the pump is, it stopped pumping because, you know, we already pumped that little bit of water out. But every time that gets water in there, it's going to pump out. And so that makes this craft actually usable. That I can go out here in 100% wind, and this will be my little rescue boat for using in extreme conditions, because this is pretty much unsinkable. You know, as you can see, it's going to have no problems, and it will auto shut the hatch. And it's not super duper fast, but again, you shouldn't be going super duper fast in heavy seas. You know, you should be slowing down. And so, kind of a cool little lifeboat. Also, you know, you need to make, or you don't need to, but I like to make my craft have different strengths and weaknesses. The lifeboat's strength is it's completely sealed, right? This, you know, if we, I think I rolled, yeah, I did roll the Remora in the last video. This should not roll. You know, it's a little bit tippy now. I still need to do some stability stuff, and I need to probably reballast it. But you know, it's a little crooked, but it you know, it functions great. And so you know, this is going to be our heavy seas rescue boat. And so when, you know, it has its pluses and its minuses. It has the automatic hatch. I can fit 8 people in here, so I can do pretty much any of the rescues. You know, even if I need to stuff people in there, not in a seat, I can do that. It has all the rescue equipment, so let's go up front here. So you see, we have first aid kits, defib, scuba suit, which is important on that, fire equipment. So I have all the equipment I need to rescue 8 people, and you know, it's pretty much unsinkable with that door system. Is it's going to automatically shut the door and pump out, and you see how quickly it does it. Like, you do it again, it takes seconds for it to pump out the water, and it takes less than a second for it to shut the door. And so you know, I don't have to worry about sinking. There's water in, there's the door closed, there's the pump out, and it's already pumped all the water out. Now we can open the door again. So that allows me to rescue people. It's slower, a lot slower than Remora. Remora is a much better fair weather craft. Remora's strength is speed. The issues with Remora does not operate as well in these heavy conditions. It's harder to recover probably than the lifeboat. So that's just kind of the little benefits. The man overboard boat has one job, and that's to be tiny. That's its only benefit, is it's tiny. It has no other great gift than that. You know, and so each craft I want to have its own strengths, so you have a reason to pick them. For example, the Cormorant is very fast, goes 177 knots. It holds 368 gallons of fuel now. It can go very fast, and so that's its strength. It's also, you know, it's a great rescue seaplane. It does all sorts of great stuff, but its main benefits is that it's very fast. Uh-oh, Triton's on the rocks. It's very fast, and that's its main claim to fame is speed and fuel efficiency. Speed, fuel efficiency, and range. Those are its benefits. Katydid's main benefit is that Katydid can land vertically. And so each craft, if it has its own intrinsic pluses and minuses, it allows you to get out of the metas and choose a vehicle for the particular job you want to do. So if we have 100% wind, we have to go do a rescue, lifeboat's going out. Or Katie did, we'll do station holding. Right? We can't, it's very hard to land a seaplane and keep the seaplane from, you know, tipping over, landing on the water in 100% seas. So the cormorant's out. Katie did is in, the lifeboat's in. That gives me some options. We have a nice fair weather rescue, not terribly far away. You know, I'm not doing any transponder missions with Remora, but you know, if I can do it with Remora, let's say nice calm seas, I can jet out at, you know, 70 knots and go do that, and that holds 10 people. You know, so that has a benefit. So it's good to have different benefits with the different craft. You kind of go with their strengths, and when they're weak, you don't take them. And that's kind of, you know, I made the rule with Remora, over 50% wind, it's not going. Well, up to 100% wind, you see I can take the lifeboat out. You know, same thing. Katie can now operate in 100% wind, no problem. That's fine. Katie doesn't have a ton of loiter time. Katie is not great at going super long distances. The Cormorant has a much better job, will do a much better job of transponder locating because it goes 177 knots. It goes more than 40 knots faster than Katie. It can cover more area as long as it has a calm enough sea it can land. If you have incredibly heavy seas that are like, we had one rescue that we had like 45-foot seas. There's no way I'm landing a seaplane, nor am I going to be able to take a seaplane off in 45-foot seas. And then when it gets back to Triton, I have to physically load it on with the crane. So that's some downsides. So it's not a bad thing to have some trade-offs and some downsides. You know, I've talked before how some people, you know, they get stuck in a rut where the only thing they ever use in the game is a helicopter, which is fine if you enjoy that, but I like to have some variety, and so that's kind of why I build all these different crafts. So I think we'll call the video there. You know, did a little bit of container unloading, showed off that container mover. A little bit different of an episode. Going to play it by ear, what I want to do for the next one. And we'll see you in there. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you like my content and you have yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.